describe the last couple of weeks as being interesting would be a bit of an understatement. Come with us and we will tell you the story of Effie, our camper van, and her sad demise. So this is Effie. I've not bought it yet because it's got a slight coolant leak. No, it's not bad, but it's got a little bit of a leak, so it's going to the garage tomorrow to get checked out. Apart from that, it's perfect. It's got headroom's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be, and it has got quite a lot of space. In terms of floor plan, it's not much smaller than Daisy was, so yeah, I think this is perfect. It's also really nice to drive, but it all depends on the findings of the water leak. I don't think I've ever bought a vehicle this new before, but this is 2019, so not very old at all, and still in surprisingly good condition with quite a low mileage, just over 100,000. So yeah, this is the perfect van for my plans for a wee camper. Only problem might be it's too wee, but we'll see how we get on. I've got a plan to fit an IKEA bed. I'm not doing much work on this thing until I know tomorrow with the water leak. It's not a very big water leak, but it's a water leak nevertheless. But what I have done is, that fits under there like that. This is the unit that it came with, which is not very elegant, but is quite a lot of capacity. And there's some onions. Yeah, look at that. There's somewhere to boil a kettle. You can either do it from inside or you can stand here and do it. It is great. I am quite liking this van already. And look at that. It's a bit posher than Daisy or Mabel inside. So before I did anything else with the new van, it was off to Lodge Garage in Manchester for a thorough check over to see what she was needing, if there's anything wrong with her. This was a bit like being an expectant father, because I went to go and install this thing onto a pole, looking at that building over there, waiting for the phone call to tell me what was needed, if anything at all was needed. Thankfully the phone call came through and it was good news. And that's us back from the garage, and the good news is there's nothing major wrong. A couple of wee things that need fixed that I'll get her booked in for next week, but in the meantime let's get on with ripping out all the worky stuff and making it a bit more campery. So with the van's clean bill of health, I went and bought the IKEA bed that I was planning on. In my head this was going to fit. Let's hope it actually fits in reality. I don't think we'll be needing protective cream, hand cleaner and hand sanitizer and whatever that is. Disposable gloves. No, it's not crime scene investigation. So for the first road trip in the van, we headed north to Nairn to do Nairn Links Parkrun and give it a good try out and see if the IKEA bed was actually any good, and it seemed to fit quite well. This also gave us a chance to try out the layout inside the van with the bed and the dog and stuff. It did get us thinking, why would the bed have to be at the back and pull towards the front? Because if it's this way around and you open the back doors, you get that's not a nice view, that's Cheadle Hume, but you do get a nice view. And what we're also looking at is this bulkhead, which I'm just about to remove. It's yeah, wish me luck. And an hour later, ignore the shelf on the seat, that is it in. But yeah, that bed's there and it pulls out into the gap, and there is the facilities and De Niro's bed. So yeah, I think we're about ready for another test run, hopefully with less swearing than the last test run, because last time the bed got jammed on the bits at the side there, and yeah, I got a bit upset. Solved that problem now, I hope. Find out when we actually get out and about. Ongoing developments, which is why it looks like a bit of a mess, but the bed has been turned round and is now at that end, because then we can sit on the bed and look out of the back doors, which left us the problem of how to transport the dog, because if he's down here he's going to slide about quite a lot if we have to brake suddenly. So what I've done is, this is a dog hammock that you can buy for cars, and it's good because it keeps the dog hair off the bedding as well, and it is hung up onto these strong points up here, so that should be pretty good in case of any sudden deceleration. He's got a big cushion thing to bump into, and in case of any sudden acceleration, like getting punted from behind, he'll go into that. So that should be quite safe, and he is restrained, which obviously from a legal point of view he has to be. And when we're camping, the dog hammock tucks up out the way over there, so it's a bit of a privacy screen as well. But it's time to get out the angle grinder. Ooh. The IKEA bed frame, which is there obviously, is perfect apart from one minor drawback, which I will now attempt to show you in one seamless take. That hits that. So my plan is I'm going to cut those bits off using the grinder and then just replace it with some sort of strap to reinforce it, and then the bed will pull out seamlessly. That's the plan anyway. Wish me luck. Choppy chop chop time. And with the angle grinding done, that is cut there and cut there. Looks a bit rough, I have to do something about that. But the key result is With no effort at all, it goes out to become a proper bed. I am I'm ridiculously chuffed with that. That'll do me. I am recycling all this plywood. It's all going to get put into storage somewhere until I need it, so I don't have to buy more ply, because it is it's quite expensive. Also, and excuse the mess again, we've got these, that's where the seatbelt mechanism goes if you have seatbelts. It's covered by a big bulky plastic cover that I've removed. Look at this! It'll be padded, obviously, but it's there's a gin shelf and there's one on each side. And from a couple of pieces of that to be reused plywood, I have made a very rustic, very rough shelf. There's no point doing anything properly just now until we decide what actually works and what doesn't. And that shelf will give us a little bit of storage, a little bit of privacy, and also, yeah, it'll look better than that when it's covered in carpet. Trust me. Oh dear. De Niro's had the remains of my yogurt, and the pot is now in his bed. So he can't get into his own bed because, look, it's an emergency. De Niro, go to bed. No? I think he'd quite like me to go and move it for him, but I'm not going to. He's given up. He's got another bed through there, I think. So while De Niro was using his advanced problem-solving skills to solve this little problem, I went down to solve a problem in the van. The problem of storage with a little shelf unit I was going to make. And that is that. It's just like a box shelf thing. As I say, if it works, I'll make a better one that looks a bit neater, possibly carpet line it, and if not, it'll get ripped out and nothing lost, because it's all just spare bits of wood that came out of this van when I bought it. And after a faultless trip to Nairn and several trips to Manchester for work, again without any issues, we took the van round the southwest coastal 300, which you can also see in a previous episode. And through all these miles there was no indication of any problems at all, but this was to turn out to be Effie's last adventure. Got no idea what we've done to deserve this sort of luck, but we were sitting in McDonald's having our breakfast. We'd driven through to Glasgow for park run, and somebody came running in and said, "Whose is that silver van outside?" And we said, "It's ours." And he said, "It's on fire." So I rushed out, and there was smoke coming from under the van, which I couldn't quite believe. So I grabbed the fire extinguisher and dumped the contents of the fire extinguisher to where the fire was, under the sort of middle near the fuel tank, which I thought didn't look good. And that seemed to be that. There was no flames. So the fire was out, but I called the fire brigade anyway, because that's what you do in these circumstances. Made the area safe, got everybody out the way, and called the fire brigade. And then the van started smoking again, this time quite seriously smoking. And then, yeah, those of you of a nervous disposition, please look away now, because this is what happened, and it all happened very quickly. So that's that. That was the end of Effie. And the funniest thing, if anything about it was funny, was the big Glaswegian fireman who was there. The fire chief came along and said, "Whose vehicle is it?" And I sort of walked forward and said, "It's mine." And he said, "Yeah, I think it's which is the one thing about this I'm always going to remember. So yeah, poor old Effie is gone. No idea what caused it. Some sort of electrical thing is the best guess. The fireman said diesel should not go up like that. It's like, yeah, you want to tell a diesel that? Now, as you can imagine, we've been through every possible combination of what might have been, but as it turned out, no damage was done to any other vehicles and no one was hurt. So all's well, I guess, from that point of view. So it was goodbye to Effie. Just shows you, I finally got around to buying a fairly new and very clean and very good condition van, and this is what happened. Is that going to put us off van life? Is that going to affect us? Well, yeah, it was a bit of a shock, but put us off? What do you think? Look what we found locally in Fife. Low mileage, full service history, and only a mere 20 years old. So she looks pretty good, a little bit bigger than the last one, and the only thing that needed to be done when I first got her, apart from a faulty ignition lock that I'm going to work on next, is this. I think we can safely say we're going to get rid of the CD player, and what we're going to replace it with is some quite impressive technology that we got on Amazon for about £90. It's a sat-nav screen phone mirroring thing that should fit into the same hole and plug into the same cables, so wish me luck. So that's the connector for the new radio, and it comes with an adapter to go into the old radio connectors, so this should hopefully just plug in and work. Let's see how we get on. Now that's definitely a problem, because the ignition is not turned on, but that thing's come on straight away. So there's a are permanently live that should be switched, I think. Okay, I'm going to have a dig about. I'll not bore you with all this, let's just see if I can figure out what's going on. Well, it's 20 years old, so you could probably have predicted this. Somebody at some point in history has bodged the wiring, so let's see if we can fix that first, shall we? So that's that wiring put back to how it should be. I think we'll find out by plugging the radio into it and see how we get on. Well, thankfully fixing that wiring fault has sorted the problem with the stereo coming on all the time, so yay! Da da da! Voila! Bingo! It works perfectly. Now to get the reversing camera wired up, because this thing, yeah, I need a reversing camera. And I'm sure there are some very clever ways to wire this into the fuse box. I'm not. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way of taking a feed off that light bulb, and then the reversing camera comes on when the thing is in reverse, obviously. And that is that. It's all wired in and working, but when I say wired in, I mean temporarily through that vent hole. I've got to find a proper way to get this cable through the van to the front. That'll be the next challenge, but technically it's all working. And about an hour later, that is it done. It's not perfect, I've just noticed a slight issue with it, but it's not bad. The issue not being with the screen itself, which is pretty cool. The issue being that the hazard warning light switch is now under there. I suppose if you know where it is, it's fine, but anyway, that's pretty good. Not too obtrusive, and yeah. Dashboard's all back together now, so it looks fine. That's that job done. That's about the only tech job that it really needs. That's the reversing camera and the sat nav and stuff. Yeah, excellent. Right, time to load up the dog and go for a test drive. Quite a long test drive. We're going to Aboyne near Aberdeen. So there you are, that's a wee introduction. Hopefully it'll last a bit longer than the last one did. I can't stand up fully here, but I can if I'm here, so that's good. I am in here. Bex is outside reading her book because I am on cooking duty. The first cooking in the new van. Bex and De Niro are enjoying van life by not being in the van. It is game changing having a proper cooker because I am cooking steak with salad. There's a lot of wasted space in this, which is a bit, yeah. If you were building your own van, you would not have an entire toilet or toilet cum shower. We're still not entirely sure what we're going to call it. We keep changing names. At the moment it's called Sue because it is superb. Ba-boom. We are parked on the D-side way because we couldn't decide where else we wanted to go. Haha, ba-boom. Again, 2 jokes in a row. We're now going to go for a wee walk. Tomorrow we're doing park run, unsurprisingly. We did quite like Effie and it was coming along according to plan, but it wasn't really big enough for two normal sized humans and a large sized dog, so this one has got much more space and actual facilities. Somebody phone the greyhound police. There's a dangerously out of control greyhound down there. Never ever let your greyhound off its lead because, I mean, look at him voom, he's just he's not going to voom. Look at this dangerously out of control greyhound.
Good boy. Good boy.
He comes back for the merest hint of a suggestion. Look at the size of that nose.
Good boy.
Right, go on in. Voom, De Niro, off you go. Go and chase something. Oh, we've got the full symmetrical, can't be bothered going for a walk flap going flap, 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 flap. De Niro, look a bit more alert and keen. Right, De Niro, was that a nice wee run, was it? Bex is back there somewhere admiring Aboyne, and I came up this way and he's decided he's going to catch up with me. I win. I'm his favourite person. I'm not really his favourite person. Just now there's somebody over there that is his favourite person. Yes, De Niro, that wasn't Bex over there. That was someone else. I think this used to be an old railway line, and you don't know what happened to the actual railway track, but you can see what happened to all the sleepers. Somebody has built a fence. That was quite a big job. Quite a lot of sleepers. We are in Aboyne. This is the first stop off because there's a new park run just started here, and we just had a nice lady run through. Bex, Bex, Bex! I watch you on YouTube, so Bex has got a big red face on.
That was lovely, wasn't it? That was
lovely, wasn't it? We will be having a bit more of a look around. This is the War Memorial Buildings, which is on the way to the park run start. That is quite cool. Our new van, which is still not really got a name, is nestled in the corner, lowering the tone. If you go down to the start today, you'll probably see lots of park runners. I think they get about 100 people here each week, so yeah, we're quite looking forward to it. It looks like it's going to be quite pretty. This is quite nice. This is the railway bridge where it all starts. There's not many people here yet, but it's still early, so we're too early again. And here come the good people that make it all happen. The excitement mounts. Oh no, not excitement. What's the other one? Oh yeah, dread. I'm just waiting for my breathing to catch up with the fact that I'm running, which happens most weekends these days. I'm not very fit. Well, the good news is that is the finish. The bad news is we've got to do all of it again before we can go there. So this bit's always a bit soul destroying. Hey ho, that's lap 1 done. Just about a kilometre to go now, and yeah, it is actually really pretty. And it's 2 laps, but it's 2 quite confusing laps, so I've got no idea where we're actually going next, which is part of the fun. And back at the start again. Unfortunately, as you saw earlier, they've moved the start about 500 metres away, so hey ho. Ordinarily the start would also be the finish, but it's not today. Boo! I think the reason that they start it there and then move the finish is so you've got to run up this hill 3 times, but if you could have started further back, then you don't have to run up it twice. It's quite a big hill. And we get to the top of this hill, there's another hill, thank you! Nearly done. Yay, finished. Go through here, collect our tokens, and then go for a bacon sandwich. How's that sound for a plan? Thanks guys!
Well done.
Nice one.
Oh, and I was too busy talking to you, I finished in front of Bex. That was, that never happens. Thank you very much, sir. Cheers.
Cheers.
Excuse me, Rebecca, could I get an autograph as well, please? You've just met another friend, haven't you?
Yes.
That's
lovely. Two followers.
2 different followers we've met today. That's makes our day.
It does.
Oh, you see what I see? Yeah, not going in there. That looks a bit modern. There'll be an old one somewhere. We'll find it. Oh wow, and this is the bridge that we've run under 3 times from the top. I love these old railway paths, as you know already, all the bits that are left, like this bridge I'm standing on, some really oldie worldy, solidly built engineering. Bex, we should have carried out a poll of our subscribers who we've just met today and said, is the deer joke funny or not?
I've no idea.
I'm not sure how much there is to show you, but it is a very, very pretty place. The first thing we're going to show you is the cafe. It's called the Spider on a Bicycle, which is why we're going. Cute name. We've gone from having a very yellow van to a massive white van to that, which is always the greenest thing. It's in such good condition, considering it's 20 years old. I wonder if Bex was in that good condition when she was 20 years younger. Could be a change of plan. We just saw somebody with a takeaway breakfast in a box, so we're going to go and source a takeaway breakfast and sit somewhere nice and eat it, obviously. Not going to sit and look at it. What a cute wee house. Right, Bex wants to go have a look in the gift shop, so who am I to argue? Especially because I saw a unicorn in the window. Bex hasn't had a coffee yet, so she's a bit... But after she's had coffee, she'll be... And I'm definitely not going to point at that one because she's standing right next to me.
You're just one of them.
And a change of plan. The menu in that last place didn't inspire, so we're going to the Spider on a Bicycle after all. That's not it, obviously. That's Little Monkeys. Spider on a Bicycle is over there. What will it be? Who am I kidding? It'll be the all-day breakfast. It's pretty cool. As you've probably noticed for yourself, and I didn't mention, we've run along the old abandoned railway line, and we have been across the old abandoned railway bridge. And this is our old and not very abandoned railway station. It's got an interesting railway line along here. It was like for Royal Deciding, Queen Victoria and all that stuff. So yeah, there's some nice bits and pieces left, like that, for example. You can tell it's quite a nice area because it is such a nice building with pointy bits at each end. Not necessary, but aesthetically pleasing. Everywhere you look, you see new little bits, new old little bits. In this case, there's an old railway tunnel entrance there. It's yeah, must have been quite a big deal back in the day. Come along to Ballatar because that was the nearest charity shop according to Google Maps. It looks like quite a posh charity shop. And we've got a picture of wee dog pictures available here. This place is really, really nice. Yeah. Jigsaws? Anybody want any jigsaws? Wheelie bins. We're at the wheelie bin end of the market. Here's something that's both educational and informative. Everyone poops. People, horses, geese, and apples. Not sure about the last one. How about that, Bex? You've got the ultimate card game thing but without any cards in it.
Oh, because we lost our...
Yes, it all went up in smoke. I know, I was there. You found treasure, have you? No. Right, Bex, here's a charity shop related question for you. You know, everywhere you go in charity shops say, we've got knitting needles. You can have a pair of knitting needles, but you have to go and ask behind the counter. There's a spate of knitting needle related crimes.
They're dangerous.
You think,
very, very
if you want to assault somebody, it's got all sorts of things you can hit them over the head with. So why are knitting needles always...
Maybe because it's a specialist item.
Oh, a specialist item.
And you need advice.
So now you know.
Help.
Yes. One thing we haven't figured out about the new van is how to restrain De Niro. If anybody's got any ideas, please let us know. Anyway, back on the road. Stopped off for a cup of coffee and a use of the facilities. This is Blairgowrie, I think. We're in Blairgowrie. And this sort of closes the loop on our first adventure in our new van. And so far, apart from a little issue with the ignition key switching itself off, which is not as serious as it sounds, it's been great. And it'll be even better when we can figure out how all the bits in it work, because some of the bits I'm sure they do work, we just don't know which buttons to press. Oh well, while we're here it'd be rude not to. Let's have a wee look in the Blythewood charity shop. Treasure beyond measure. Oh, they're quite different. Oh, some mugs for the van.
Too dear?
Nah, it's too dear.
Too dear.
Definitely too dear. This 2 deer joke is...
It's just getting ridiculous.
It's hilarious. People are now rolling about saying stop saying the 2 deer joke. It's hilarious. We didn't buy the mugs that were a bit dear, but we did buy 2 containers for the van. I'm not actually sure if they're going to fit where we think they're going to fit, but we'll soon find out.
We'll fit somewhere else.
We'll fit somewhere else if they don't. There's... no, I'm not going to say anything, Bex. Do not say anything. And that's it for now. It's been an interesting couple of weeks, a traumatic couple of weeks, but yeah, we're back on track and we'll see you guys again next week.